Yeah, still see some of these every once in a while. This here is the scrubby little shoot of a chestnut tree. You never see full-grown chestnut trees. It's probably coming up from an old snag somewhere around here. Just sends up sucker shoots, and it'll eventually get blight and die again. But that's what a chestnut leaf looks like. It's a big woodland millipede. And put my hand next to him so you can see how big he is. These guys are kind of cool. Not sure why he's here, but he's not happy about being picked up. Just putting him off the trail there. But something different. Yeah, just a little different type of milkweed. I think that's a poke milkweed, not 100% sure though. Moving on. Some people think this is phlox, but this is Dame's rocket. It's related to mustard. It has these mustard type seed pods, and it only has 4 petals. It also has alternate leaves. Phlox has 5 petals and opposite leaves, so definitely not phlox. Being in the mustard family, you can eat it. Not the greatest, but if you like mustard greens, the younger leaves might be worthwhile, but at any rate, moving on. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but these little guys are neat looking here. It's the very dissected leaves that go to the flowers. Mountain laurel, a little past its prime, but still blooming. There's a bunch more around here that, I'm not sure what the hell that is that just landed. But there's a lot more around here farther down, but this is the only one big enough to have flowers. You can kind of tell they whack things back a good ways from the path here. It used to be a little bit more grown in, but, you know, people can't have their little toy poodles picking up ticks out in the woods, so. Anyway, right by, this is where a gas line crosses. Another 4-lane highway coming through the woods, basically. But you see the creek down there, keeps going up the hill. It's also one of the ways that it seems like the little 4-wheelers get down here. But at any rate, moving on. Okay, all this stuff looks a little like ginseng, but it's not. This stuff comes up from the ground, has 3 compound leaves, usually has 7 leaflets. Sometimes it's double compound like this one's starting to go. But this is wild sarsaparilla. Not related to real sarsaparilla, which is actually a vine. I think it's technically a corruption of Spanish for thorny vine, but at any rate, these things here will send up flowers eventually. I don't see any flower spikes on any of these right now, but maybe a little later in the season. A whole little clump of it here. More, the shiny leaves are the mountain laurel. They're just too small to flower. But moving on. That's a Trillium. There's another one here. These are the red Trillium, I believe. And that's the seeds. The flower's done. But there's a little clump of them here. Kind of big. But at any rate, moving on. Okay, these guys here and there, and a couple of smaller ones there. These are, they call them Maidenhair Fern, because people used to make something to wash their hair with it. But there's a single stalk coming up, and it kind of reaches out like a little hand. So that's what makes these very distinct. Let me see a little bit better maybe on this one here. He's a little bit more out in the open. He's got another branch here that kind of got eaten and fell down, but you can see how it comes out and has multiple fronds like that. So At any rate, moving on. Just a rhododendron. Rhododendron maximum. People call them Great Laurel or Rose Bay. No flowers on it, but still kind of impressive, just the greenery and everything. I haven't been taking too many shots of the actual trail here, so I'm kind of panning around now. The cyclists seem to keep running through every time I think about turning the camera on, so. But at any rate, I'll keep moving on. Okay, here we got a really big, just has the leaves on that, big Jack-in-the-pulpit, and it's actually still blooming. That's the underside of the flower there, the little arum. So, yeah, that little hood usually kind of hides it. And this right here is a red elderberry. Leaves are almost the same, but slightly different than the normal Sambucus canadensis, the regular one. But the regular one has like flat clumps of berries. This thing has clumps that come out like this. They're more like a bunch of grapes. So it's one of the ways to tell them apart. Yeah, a lot of Jack-in-the-pulpit around here. See some more over there. But, oh, this guy's even bigger. Oh, this guy's got to be waist tall and has leaves. Whoa, slipped a little bit. Those leaves are huge. It's got to be a foot across. And look at the flowers on him. It's going to be a very confusing area anymore. Right here you got a sign, fishing permitted, walk-in only, no camping, etc. A couple feet over from it, you got posted no trespassing. And it seems like a lot of the places I used to be able to go down to the creek are now posted no trespassing. I'm not sure what the hell happened, but just interesting thing I've noticed this year. But, at any rate, wide open area here. I'm almost where I was trying to get to, and then I'll have to haul ass back to my car. Kind of hoping this weedy area over here where it's kind of gravelly, it's kind of beside the trail. Trail's paved. Well, I was kind of hoping maybe I'd see a snake trying to warm up before it gets dark. No luck yet, but that's kind of where you'll find them. The snakes will usually hide where they can get sun and warm up a little bit, but they still feel a little bit protected by the shitty little weeds growing up through the gravel. So, at any rate, moving on. Where it gets too dark. Here's something kind of close to the trail and down low enough. These kind of slightly asymmetrical, kind of wavy toothed leaves here, darker green, has these little pods like this. This is a witch hazel. Thing goes all the way over there. This is a pretty big one. They're usually smaller, but yeah, later on in the fall, these seeds or these capsules, they'll dry out and they'll actually eject the seeds. They kind of spring loaded. They kind of pop out, and that's how they spread their fruit. But at any rate, moving on. Yeah, 5.5 mile marker. I think this is where I'm supposed to be, and I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. I think them cutting shit back killed all the Canada yew. It is gone. I am not seeing it. I know it was right around this marker here somewhere, right along this hillside. That stuff right there, that's all a hemlock tree right there. It was right up under these hemlocks here. I'm hoping some of it's surviving up there where I can't see it. Up among these weeds and ferns and stuff, but yeah, not looking good. Not looking good at all. And it's a lighter green color. And the leaves don't have the stripes underneath. Yeah, I'll look a little bit more, but disappointing trip. Sad what people do. I mean, it's not like the trail wasn't wide enough without cutting it back that far. But hey, why cut it every year when you can whack it back every 10 years far enough that it won't grow back for 10 years? Little bird over there hopping around. But at any rate, time to head back. Land snail out and about. You know, grab them, get them off the trail here. But yeah, you can identify them by their teeth, which isn't the teeth in their mouth, it's actually the teeth in the opening of their shell. But I'm not going to mess with them. I'm going to set them over here in the vegetation and leave them be. Scared myself. It's mile marker 5. I thought it was mile marker 5, but this patch is actually reduced in size to the point where I blew past it the first time and looked at, I was like, well, it must be 5.5. See, this stuff down here, you can tell it's different than the trees. See that over there, that's a hemlock. And this stuff growing more or less on the ground. I'll try hopping closer with the lighter green color to it. Balance on rock, don't fall on ass. And then jump. Little squishy. See, they're right beside each other here. This is hemlock right here. Little smaller needles. And then this is more uniform in color, lighter color, just light green underneath. This is Canada yew. These guys here, you can see they got the white stripes underneath. Makes it look sort of whitish from a distance. You got to look at it really, really close, maybe even under a lens to see that you got 2 white stripes there. But yeah, the yew kind of grows along the ground. So, at any rate, don't see any sign of it making berries or anything, but it seems to be growing quite well. But yeah, this is what I came for, so it's growing across this little thing here. It used to grow out into this sort of wet area a little bit more, but they whacked this stuff way back. You can see the cut off branches where it died back. It used to be out here a lot more. But at any rate, happy to see it still survived. I'll try to document this a little bit and then head for the car. Well, so far he hasn't flown away. I got a little bird there. Cool. Not sure who he is, but usually when I pull out a camera they fly away, so I can't identify him anyway. But at any rate, zoom out a little bit. Nice scenery, nice big rock there. I'm just down from where the yew is over there. So there used to be a much bigger patch here, but it's just about gone now. This guy right here, I'm not gonna crawl through the mud, but he's getting ready to bloom. There were a couple other ones that were blooming a little bit. That's wild hydrangea. Flowers will be white. They look kind of greenish because they haven't opened yet. But at any rate, yeah, getting a little dark here. Nice little overlook of the creek. I'm going to walk down here, give you a little bit of the scenery here. You know, a lot of clover and oxeye daisies, and of course the Dame's rocket I showed you before, all of which are alien weeds that people plant as wildflowers. This here is colt's foot, this stuff right here. See about what size it is. It's kind of whitish underneath. It's one of the first flowers of spring. Flowers will come up before the leaves, but at any rate, I think this is kind of funny. They got this little conserved by Allegheny Valley Conservancy and nailed to a tree. I'm sure the tree will survive it, but it just seems kind of ironic. But yeah, you can see the stream down there below. This is East Sandy Creek. It's the Sandy Creek Trail, but Sandy Creek is on the other side, the west side of the Allegheny River. East Sandy Creek, which also has some other something or other hollow is a name for part of it, is over here on the east side. And here's another Jack-in-the-pulpit, just a single leaf here, no flower. They usually get big enough to have 2 leaves before they'll have a flower. And at any rate, gonna try to get back to my car before it gets too damn dark here. Moving on. Yeah, I've been hoofing it for a while from back in there, but it's amazing out here how light it still is, actually. Walking up under these hemlocks, it's dusk already, where, you know, it's around sundown, but it's still pretty light out here. So at any rate, just showing the difference when you're kind of hidden by these north-facing slopes with a lot of trees on it. Daylight goes away a lot faster, and it's even shadier during the day. I know I walked through here in winter, and you can see where some places the snow melted, and some places it seemed to stay forever because of the places. Some get sunlight and some don't. A lot of silt over there, filling that up. Used to be a pretty good pond there, but at any rate, moving on, hoofing it back to the car. I'll turn the camera back on if I see anything interesting. Did scare out a whatchamacallit, a porcupine earlier, but he went scurrying away real quick, so didn't get the camera out in time. But at any rate, signing off for now. Okay, I was a little slow. There was a deer standing in the trail and he just walked off to the left. So I'm going to keep this on and see if anything else wanders out. It's actually a pretty steep hill on the left, so you might double back. It's not too bad. The hill kind of comes down right here. Yeah, he was right about where that log is. And he went across. I don't see anything else off to that side in the clearing. I don't see anything else up that way. I don't see him sitting in the woods looking back at me. Oh well, it's too slow again. Not sure how well they'll pick up, but I'm starting to see lightning bugs on the fringes of the path where it's dark. There's one there. I was hoping a few more of them would stay out here. sometimes you can get a pretty good light show going at night, but I don't want to be out here at midnight. Got to go home eventually. I think I did pretty good considering I got here about 7 o'clock at night. Yeah, as it's getting darker, you can see a few more of them flashing off to the side here. Hopefully they're picking up. But at any rate, they're predatory actually. They're a beneficial insect, kind of like ladybugs. And good to have around. In fact, there's one species that actually mimics the, it's actually like a mating display, the light. And there's one species that actually mimics other lightning bugs and then preys on the lightning bugs of the species that it mimics. I'm almost back to the car. Less than half a mile. Another thing while I'm talking about nocturnal insects, and hopefully it's enjoyable looking at the lightning bugs. I'd stop and sit in one of these shady places and watch them for a while on film, but like I said, I got an hour and a half drive to get home from here. Actually more like an hour and 45 minutes, so yeah, I don't want to be getting home at midnight. But a lot of your insects are attracted to light, and the reason why is because it gets them to move around. Basically, they're attracted to the moon if there's no artificial light around, so they fly towards the moon. The moon rises up in the east and sets in the west just like the sun, so they kind of circle around and travel a pretty good distance. And that's kind of the method to the madness why a lot of things, even June bugs and things like that, are attracted to porch lights and stuff like that. Actually, what I should have done is gone the other way on this trail. There's an old tunnel. They built a smaller tunnel inside of it, and the space between the old railroad tunnel and the new tunnel they built, they left for the bats. So there should be a lot of bats flying around there. But yeah, almost back to the car. Probably about it for this little adventure here. See you on the next one. And it's the moon crossing the creek, this last little bridge before I get back to the car here. It's amazing how much lighter it is when you come out into an opening here. Just wanted to give you a little bit of scenery at sunset here. It's the road over there. You can see the other bridge there. So almost where my car's parked, so you can see the white pines sticking up above the other trees there. It's kind of the way they grow. That's why they're the tallest thing in the east. They grow as tall as everybody else, and then they grow one size taller so they can be above everybody. There's different frogs out there. But at any rate, I'll go through here, go under an overpass. Oh, there's a lightning bug. So I go through here. You can see the change going under the trees. It's dark as hell now. But yeah, around the bend under the road, and that's where my car's parked. Run into anything interesting, I'll turn it back on. Well, I hope you found that video informative. Hopefully it made you think, and please click the like button and subscribe if you haven't done that already, and check out the video that should be appearing somewhere around me here, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks.